welcome. Well, it's that time of the year again. Yes, when I tell you and show you all the eyeshadow palettes I purchased in 2021. Yes, I did do this in 2020. And now I'm back. Did I purchase more? Did I purchase less? Did I purchase the same amount? Feel free to pause for a moment and just take a guess. How many palettes do you think your girl bought in 2021? And then stay tuned because I'm going to be talking about what my plans for eyeshadow and eyeshadow palettes in 2022. I have got before me a stack of palettes. My favorite palettes, I did do a video talking about my favorite palettes. I don't know which one is going to go up first, but if that one is out, it will be linked up here. So if you want to know what my absolute favorite palettes were of the year and my absolute #1 favorite of 2021, check that video out. And if you're not subscribed, then please go ahead and do so. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified if and when that video goes up, if it hasn't already. And I've got more on the way. So let's just get started, shall we? Okay. So I was going to go by the beginning of the year. It was kind of fun going through this again because, you know, the palettes that I bought really early in the year I kind of forgot about. And so I was like, oh, I was reminded. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say fun. I was reminded like, oh, I bought that? Okay. So I decided to group them rather by brand than by the time that I purchased them. So let's get started. I can tell you the first one that I purchased in 2021 was the Flower Beauty Jungle Lights palette. And this is a palette that I have swatched and it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. I bought this probably in January. We're now in December and I have yet to use it, but it's real pretty, very pretty. And the fact that I bought this one and never used it didn't stop me from picking up the new one by Flower Beauty. This one is the Desert Lights palette. This one I actually used, go figure. I do have a tutorial using this palette if you're interested. Most of the palette, a lot of the palettes, I won't say most of them, but a lot of the palettes, I think a lot of them. Okay, there are some videos, there are some tutorials with some of these palettes on my channel. So where I can, I will link them above, and then you feel free to just go to my channel, type in the palette name that you're looking for, and the video should pop up. I do have a playlist of all my Juvia's Place palettes tutorials and my Pat McGrath, some indies, some Sydney Grace, so you know that might help you out. But yeah, a lot of these palettes I did do tutorials for, and this is one of them. So I'm not going to be going into depth because this video will be 2 hours long. I'm just here to show you what I got. Okay, so 2 from Flower Beauty. My first time purchasing from that brand and using their eyeshadows. What's up next? I got a few from BH Cosmetics. Starting off with the original Zodiac palette. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I think I might have actually bought this from the BH Cosmetics website. This is an oldie but a goodie. I've always wanted this palette, been interested in this palette, finally picked it up, and she's really nice. The formula is really nice. And then I went and picked up the Zodiac 2 palette. This one I got from TJ Maxx for cheap, and this one is a neutral palette and very pretty. Formula in this one also consistent with the formula from the original. I don't even know where to put these palettes, y'all. And then more recently I did pick up the Poison Shock palette. It has Absinthe on the front, so I don't know if this is the Absinthe palette and this is a Poison Shock collection. I have no idea, but I think this is the Absinthe palette and it's from a collection because they had other 9 shadow palettes, 9-pan palettes that they put out in different monochromatic color stories, and this one of course is the green one. And yeah, I can't tell you what it's like because I've only swatched it, never actually used it. Not yet anyway. From Game Beauty, this is the Adventure palette, and this one is still in the box, so you know what that means. Haven't used this one either. But that is what she looks like. Very nice, very nice. And then my very first purchase, and my only one thus far, from Glamlight, and this is the collaboration they did with Michaela. I believe she's a TikToker. And this is what this palette looks like. I think I've used maybe 1 or 2 eyeshadows from it thus far, but really haven't used it yet either. And then from Juvia's Place, I have more from Juvia's Place. Oh yes, let me move some from the stock here. From Juvia's Place, I did buy a few from them. So they are the Blushed Rose palette. Really, really pretty. Did a tutorial on that one. And this is the Bronze Rustic palette. Bronze Rustic palette. Gorgeous warm tone palette. Did a tutorial with this one. And then they came out with some quads. The Rebel quad series. This one is the Army, the green palette. Of course, I have a tutorial with that one. The Mints. I have a tutorial with all of these right there. And then the grays. And that is what that looks like. That was it from Juvia's Place. Okay, from Pat McGrath, I did pick up 2. I got the Voyeuristic Vixen Quad. And I do have a tutorial with that one. Very, very gorgeous. And then from this holiday collection from this year, I do have the Celestial Divinity. Very nice. My first holiday mega palette. This is one of her mega palettes. My very first holiday mega palette from her. Let's see. Boy, oh boy, switching over to Sigma Cosmetics. I did pick up 2 from them. I got the Enchanted palette, which looks like that, a cool tone, very pretty palette. And these palettes, you do get a dual-ended Sigma brush, which is always good. And then here is the Corderosa, which is a beautiful warm tone neutral palette. Love the packaging on both of these. I like the direction that Sigma is going with their eyeshadow palettes. From LA Girl, picked this up from Ulta. This is the Main Stage Desert Dream palette. This is the second one of this kind that I have. I bought another one like this 16-pan palette with the sturdy plastic packaging. I have another one of these. Like that one so much. When this one came out, immediately picked that up at a good affordable price. From Plain and Makeup from Yolando, I have the Jamrock Colored Wash Shoshana Pastel palette. I do have the original Jamrock palette from Pimby. And yeah, nice pigmented eyeshadow formula she makes. Expensive though, she's pricey, but always has sales. From Viseart, I really beefed up my collection, my Viseart collection this year, because Viseart, I think I got a couple from, I might have gotten a couple when Muse Beauty Pro does their sale. I don't think so though. I think these all came from the Viseart Paris website. So I did pick up the Bohème palette. Oh, if I can get them open, because I got these anywhere from the 12-pan Pro palettes I got for 30% off, and then the smaller palettes for 20% off. This is the Bridal Satins palette. really pretty soft cool tone shimmer palette. This is the Koi palette, a palette, this is a heavy one too, a palette I've been lusting after for quite some time. Finally got this. I might have gotten this one from Sephora actually, maybe, I don't know. And then the Cool Mattes palette. This is the Cool Mattes 2 palette, one that I've wanted for a while too. Very, very nice. And then a much more recent purchase, I picked up the Bijou palette. This is one of their recent releases, and that is what she looks like. Beautiful, just gorgeous, gorgeous warm tone and jewel tone mattes and shimmers in here. And then another recent release from them, this is the Paris Étoile palette. This is one of their mini petite palettes, another cool tone beauty. I love me some cool tone eyeshadows, and it's nice to see a lot of brands did come out with cool tone palettes this year. And then lastly, from Vizier, I did get the Petite Pro 3 palette, and this is what she looks like. This is not a new one, but ooh, did I just put my finger in it? Yeah, this is what she looks like. I got it for these two greens right here, this beautiful lime green shimmer and then this really dark green matte. But the whole palette is just really pretty. You really can't go wrong with Vizier eyeshadow palettes. Now I have these, these two are the Bijou, are my two most recent additions, so I have not used those yet. The Petite Pro I've had for a while, haven't used it yet either. But the 12 pan palettes, I did not use them on camera, but I have used them. I think I've used all but the Bohème palette, but yes, all the others I've used and I already love. Woo! All right, let's go. It's the it's freaking Bats palette from Shroud Cosmetics. Their collaboration with Batty Bean. She's now Batty Bean. That's what that looks like. I have used that. Do have a tutorial on that one. Natasha Denona. I did buy two from her. One I forgot about. The one I forgot about is the Mini Zendo palette. And this is pretty. Okay, and one just fell out. That's been happening to me a lot lately. So yeah, so this one here on the end fell out just now. I believe I did use this one, not on camera, but yeah, this is a pretty palette. I do like, it's on the cool side, cool neutral side here, but yeah, disheartened that one of the pans has fallen out. I hope I remember that the next time I go to use it. And then the Mini Love palette, which I don't love actually. don't love that. I went on a rant about this palette already, I believe. Yeah, I did. So yeah, but I do have this one. And then from Clarity Cosmetics, I picked up the Cobra palette. Oh, so gorgeous, so gorgeous. The mattes, not my favorite, pretty hard to blend, but the metallics, gorgeous, and just the colors, beautiful color story. I have used this once. I need to use it again. I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to using this a little bit more. From Sydney Grace and their collaboration with Temptalia, I have the Quintessence palette, beautiful, and this eyeshadow formula is amazing. And then I have the On the Horizon palette, very beautiful indeed. And then my first purchase from the Glam Shop, they are a Polish brand, and I got 4 palettes from them. Yeah, the majority of them I have not used. This is the Zelone palette, this gorgeous green palette. Swatched it, have not yet used it. And then the It says Moro. Everybody else calls it the Camo palette, but it says Moro. So this is what she looks like. Another beautiful grungy green palette. Haven't used that one yet. And then there's the Laguna palette. This one is a little more colorful. Haven't used that one yet. I was planning to do a whole review series on these palettes. Just I got too many palettes. I fell behind. And this is the Citronata palette. And this is a yellow palette. I did use this one, and I wasn't crazy about the formula in this one, so I'm really interested to use the others so that I can see if I like the formula in those or not. And then from Lorella Cosmetics, another indie brand that I found on Instagram, and this is the Night Thinker palette. Pretty sure I have a tutorial using this palette. Pretty teals with purples, which is always a nice color story. And then this one, Electric City, which is just a bright, even looks neon in the pan. Look at that. Ooh, bright neon palette, which I have not used yet. I'm really skeptical about neon palettes because my experience with neon shadows at this point, up to this point, has not been good, but I definitely want to check it out. It's so beautiful. How can I not? How can I not? Because I have so many. And from NARS, my first ever NARS palette. This is the Climax palette. And yeah, she's still in the box because you know what that means. I haven't used it yet. This is what she looks like. Gorgeous! This palette is so well reviewed here on YouTube. Now would be a perfect time to use it. Holiday, winter, Christmas, New Year's. Haven't gotten to it yet. Maybe I will one of these days. Then from overseas, another indie brand. This is from Unique Beauty. Picked up 3 of their little palettes. This is the Me, Myself, and I palette. This is what she looks like. I actually did a review on these 3 palettes, so feel free to check that out. Tutorials were in that video as well. This is the Bubble Time palette. The packaging is so cute, and then the color story is really beautiful. They have a mixture of metallics and mattes, and I mean, looks similar to the Cobra palette, right? These cost me a pretty penny. And then this is the Japan Volume 1. These are all part of different collections. I just got one of each collection that I was interested in. This one, and this is like a pink red palette. Really pretty. So if you're interested in this brand or in these palettes and you'd like to see a review of them, go ahead and check it out on my channel. All right, I got a couple from ColourPop, the Blowing Smoke palette. I believe it used to be called Smoke Show, but they changed the name. I've been wanting this for a long time. Just your basic black and gray palette with a pop of silver. Perfect for New Year's. Think I'll actually use it? I don't know. Haven't used it yet. High Tide. Haven't used this one either. Beautiful Seafoam Blue palette. The Tinkerbell Disney Collection, the Sprinkle a Little Magic palette. Really pretty. Really beautiful. Haven't used that one yet either. But I did use one, and it is it's the Mandalorian palette. It's in the box, but I actually did use this one. This is my second one. The first one was damaged, so I did go ahead and get another one. And so beautiful, a beautiful cool toned neutral palette. I did do a look with it. Did I post it on my Instagram? I don't know if I did. I don't know if I've posted it yet, but yeah, did use this one. Very, very happy with that. My first and only purchase from Sample Beauty is the Equalizer Volume 2. Picked this up from Beauty Bay. And that is what she looks like. Just a really, really pretty neutral palette. And then two purchases from Adept Cosmetics. The Plain Jane palette I purchased early this year. And just 12 pan multi-chrome, dual chrome palette, all shimmer palette. And then I did pick up the Kodan palette, which you've seen many times and heard about many times on my channel, 2468. This is a 10 pan palette with a mixture of dual and multi-chromes, but this one has two mattes where the Plain Jane is all shimmer. And then with a gift card, so I didn't actually buy this palette, okay. I had a gift card and I did pick up the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina 5 palette. I had been wanting this for a really long time. Well, ever since it launched, I had been wanting it, but I just couldn't bring myself to pay the $60 for it. So when I got the gift card, I ran out and immediately purchased this one. Woo! From Danessa Myricks. I did pick up the Lightwork 3 palette. Absolutely gorgeous mix of creams, multi-chromes, dual chromes, and powder, cream to powder shadows with one glitter. From Be Perfect Cosmetics, Carnival 4 palette, the Antidote palette, their collaboration with Stacey Marie. So I've added that to my Carnival collection. I now have 3 Carnival palettes. Also from Beauty Bay, 2 from their own brand, the Wilderness palette. This beautiful grungy green palette with blues and reds. Perfect for fall. And then the Age of Opulence palette. I have used the Carnival Antidote palette a few times now. Really, really love it. I have a tutorial with that one. I have a tutorial with the Wilderness. And I have yet, though, to try or to play in the Opulence, Age of Opulence palette. Looking forward to digging into that one. From Blend Bunny, my first purchases from Blend Bunny was this year. My first one was the Surge palette, which you know if you follow me here, I have been loving. It has mattes and shimmers. And then I like this so much, I went and purchased their very first palette, which is the Blends palette. And this is an all matte rainbow palette, although you do have a row of neutrals. Haven't had the opportunity to use this one as of yet. Oh, wow. And then last but not least, these finally got here. Finally, Lord, it took forever. From Odin's Eye, my very first purchase, and probably my last, because it took so long for these palettes to get here. I did pick up the palettes from the Diversa collection. The first one I bought first, and this one didn't take as long. And this is the Giant Wolves palette, the collaboration with Annette's Makeup Corner. Haven't had the opportunity to use this one yet. And then these just got here, like, was it yesterday? I think just got here. I ordered these on Black Friday and they just got here. And this is December 19th? Yeah. So, you know, I'm sure that Black Friday, you know, was overwhelming for a lot of people. And then somehow when it finally shipped, they actually did refund me. I had paid for expedited shipping, and they refunded me the extra cost for that because it wasn't expedited, and then it got here, and it got to JFK in New York, and somehow it ended up in Jersey, but then it got here. Lord knows. But this is the Red Dragon palette, which is actually the palette that I use today. And oh, okay, I keep digging my fingers into my eyeshadow pans, and this is what it looks like. This is a gorgeous warm toned neutral palette. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me turn it this way. Absolutely stunning. Although I know you've already seen this palette. I did use, there's a dual chrome, or is it a multi-chrome? The one that's on my lid is from this, just gorgeous. This whole look is from this palette. And then the Hummingbird palette, which is the collaboration with the Fancifix here on YouTube. And yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this is their collaboration with Judy. I don't know if I said that, but and this is the really colorful, heavy, shimmer heavy palette, but gorgeous as well. So really happy with all three of these, as a matter of fact. Oh boy, yeah. So I think I went through that pretty quickly. Yeah, I think so. What do you think? Yeah, I think I did. So how many were there? Let me know what your guess was down below. So yeah, this is ridiculous. Okay, this is absolutely ridiculous. Should I tell you how many palettes? 58 eyeshadow palettes in 2021. And I used a fair amount of them, but there's a fair amount that I haven't gotten around to using, and that's why it's just ridiculous that I purchased so many. Because I only have 2 eyes, and I only do my eyeshadow not that often. So yeah, and I would like to blame it on being a YouTuber and blah blah blah, but no, I just buy them because I love them. I love eyeshadow. I love eyeshadow palettes, singles, all of it. I love all of it. But yeah, this is I think this is worse than last year. And last year we were in the midst of a pandemic, and so, you know, I feel like I had a good reason or a good, you know, excuse for buying so many eyeshadow palettes. This year, really no excuse. Yeah, maybe because just the sales were just so good, like Viseart for 40% off. Like, what? Like, how do I pass that up? Clearly, I couldn't. So, and I have no regrets. There are some palettes here that I'm probably going to be getting rid of. I think there's a declutter in my near future. I know I've said that before. I think I've hinted at that before, but now that I have all these palettes and I've taken them out and they're all in front of me and I have to put them back, like they don't even all have a place to go yet. I haven't even put them away yet, mostly because those that I haven't used yet, I don't want to put away, because if I put them away, I'm going to forget about them. So I want to keep them out where I can see them. And then I really kind of want to rearrange and just put out and see the ones that I really, really love and want to use. And yeah, just get rid of the ones that I'm just not using and probably will never use. Some of these are right here in this pile that I just showed you, that I may be getting rid of. So, you know, there might be a declutter coming this year if I can bring myself to get rid of anything. And I've decluttered eyeshadow palettes before. Let me be honest. Twice before now. Has it been? Yeah, twice already I have given palettes away. So it's not like I can't part with palettes. I have done it before, a couple of times before. And okay, my camera stopped, so I don't know where it stopped at. But yeah, I think it's time for me to get organized and maybe get rid of some palettes. We'll see how that goes. And then going forward, I know I've said this before. I know I've said it before, okay? But you know, just let me say it again, okay? going forward, my plan is to use all these damn palettes, right? And I just, now especially more than ever, I felt like this last year, but this year, because I bought so many, I just really feel like, you know, and I've done this. I did this during the year too. I would see palettes. I know it doesn't look like it. But I'm sure there were some palettes that came out. I know there were. And I looked at and I saw that were beautiful. Like the Melt Cosmetics Amor y Mariposas palette. Beautiful palette. But it's like there were a lot of palettes this year that I bought. But a lot that I looked at and saw and thought, you know what? I have those colors already. I have that color story already. And I don't need to add that to my collection. Like, I don't, going forward, I just don't see where I need to buy another rainbow palette. Although I did buy another rainbow palette this year. But yeah, like now I have more than two. I have at least three. I have more than that, I know. But I have at least three. Two that I love. This one, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love it too. Like, do I need another rainbow palette? So I think like that kind of stuff is, I think is going forward, it's just going to be easy for me to say no to. I really do. And some of y'all I know are looking at me like, bitch, please. You said this last year and look what you did. I know. But I really feel like it. I really feel like I have enough. I have the color stories that I need. The blue-green eyeshadow palette color story I've done over and over again. The purple monochromatic palettes I've done over and over again. Like the pink, like, you know, I have so many cool tone palettes now. We'll talk about that in another video. So yeah, I've tried a lot of different indie brands. I've tried a lot of different formulas. So I have a much better idea now of formulas that are nice but are really not for me, you know. So I got a good sense of that now. So yeah, going forward, I do feel like, and I don't just say this stuff and make these videos just to have content. Like when I say this, I really mean it. I really do. I have the best intentions and I really do mean it. And yeah, I really mean it this year too. Like going forward, I'm just really interested in using this stuff. And then that I'm really not going to use, maybe just getting rid of it, you know, and just curating my collection down to stuff that I really love or really like, or stuff that I haven't used yet. I do have eyeshadow palettes that I call vintage makeup. I'm going to keep in my makeup museum. I'm going to have a makeup museum. They're just palettes that I just don't see myself parting with, and that I'm probably just going to keep, even though I'll probably won't use them again, but for nostalgia reasons, for packaging reasons, or just because they're not made anymore. You know, right now I feel like I do have some like that I want to hold on to, but everything else I feel like I can get rid of. So there might be a declutter video coming your way in 2022. There might not. I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, I don't know about tutorials. I don't know what I'm going to be doing next year in terms of YouTube, to be honest with you. I feel like, I don't know. Lots of times I feel like I have to do tutorials on newer palettes or palettes that are new to my collection. But, you know, tutorials aren't that popular on my channel, so I don't know. I might be doing a lot of looks, which I have been doing lately, off camera and just posting on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, please go ahead and do so, LBDBeauty1. And then maybe just coming up with other content. I don't know. I don't know. You let me know down below. What do you want to see on my channel in 2022? That would help. I know every so often I ask you guys this, and I'm asking again. Let me know, because, you know, I don't know how many tutorials I'm going to do next year, to be honest with you. I know some of you do like them and do appreciate them, and I appreciate that. So, you know, we'll see. Let me know in the comments, how many palettes did you buy in 2022? Did you pare down? Did you buy less? Did you buy more? Were you about the same? Did you clock in at about the same? Let me know. If you liked this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing, because I do makeup hauls, swatches, tutorials, and reviews every Saturday. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.